Hello, you are listening to a preview of a premium episode of Blocked and Reported. This is a good one. We talk about Will Stancil, his latest character arc. He is busy in Minneapolis, saving immigrants and pissing off anarchists. We are also going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein's latest dump, and we're going to talk a bit about the latest evolution of the AIs that are surely going to rule us all at some point in the maybe not so near future. To listen to the entire episode and to support the show, become a premium subscriber. You get access to this episode, hundreds of other episodes in our back catalog. You also get access to our live chats. I'm doing one this Friday, February 6th with Ben Ryan. We're going to talk about a detransition lawsuit and some other stuff in the world of gender news. You'll also get access to our personal service. Marriages. Okay, a marriage has literally come from this personal service. That's happening very soon. We also have a book club. We have a chat. We have open threads. You get commenting privileges. And you get access to our community, and most importantly, you help support the show. So to get all of this and to help us out, please go to blockedandreported.org. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Katie, we are both on the West Coast after long, arduous journeys. Yours was longer and more arduous than mine. How did it go? Because you, I think for the last time, you drove across America.
Yes. Well, I think it would be, look, we try to be a fact-based podcast. And so I think it would be a little insincere to say that I drove across America.
Sorry, Moose.
Typically, I like to drive the first leg and the last leg when we do these cross-country drives. So by that, I mean the first hour and the last hour. And Jana does the 38 hours in the middle. But this time it was icy on the first leg, so I only drove the last leg. I halved my contribution, so I was 1 out of 40 hours this time. So I think that I deserve a little bit of credit, but mostly Jana drove us across America.
Anything you guys do, Jana deserves most of the credit. Did you see
true.
What's one thing that you saw?
This is rough. I saw Butte, America. Have you ever done anything about Butte, Montana?
Like Montana?
Yeah.
Isn't that the capital of Montana?
No, it's not. But they call it Butte, America. It's Helena.
Wait, Billings?
It's Helena.
Okay, but why? No. I was so proud in second grade. I memorized them all. What's in Butte? What's in Butte?
Butte is basically an empty city that we were walking around one night, and it felt very rapey to me. So that was kind of the last thing I remember. It's just like very industrial city that probably was once great and is now completely empty. And I quite liked it, except for the rapey vibes. But yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
You're not someone who throws around terms like rapey. It was just like empty and creepy?
Yeah, it was empty. And it was also, actually, I was going to say it was cold. It was not cold. Nowhere in the West was cold. There was like not a bit of snow in the West. We got some snow in South Dakota. No snow in Montana. No snow in Wyoming, Idaho. Very strange.
And yet I got snow in Texas.
Yeah.
Weird.
Lots of snow in North Carolina. Lots of snow in Kentucky, Tennessee. Not a bit in the West. Very disturbing. It was just like, it was like our last night on the road. And so we just took a walk around downtown Butte, and we saw one person, and he had a German Shepherd that rushed at Moose, and I screamed like a little bitch because I thought it was going to hurt my baby. And that was it. So, not an eventful trip, I would say, but a short one. We made it in 4 days.
That's an insane amount of driving to do in that period.
Yeah. Well, exactly, which is why I don't do it. How was your trip?
It was good. Yeah, I drove all around West Texas, saw some places I'd never seen. Marfa, which was very weird. I wouldn't say rapey, but like very, very quiet. I will say you had, when I had mentioned that I was going to go to El Paso, you had said El Paso was, direct quote, a shithole.
No, I said that the freeway in was a shithole.
I
did. Go back and listen to the record. I said,
okay, hold on. Let me go back and listen.
I'm sure Old Town is nice, but when you're driving on whatever that is, I-10, and you see the Mexican slums on one side and Ross Dress for Less after Ross Dress for Less on the other side, it is the perfect encapsulation of America, and it is a shithole.
I think you said the city was a shithole. Because if you said that just the highway through it is a shithole, sure, they're all shitholes.
Go back and listen to it. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I just did. You said it.
You
The whole
did
thing's
not.
a shithole.
You did not.
I
Anyway,
just
okay.
listened to it.
What's your verdict?
It was. I stayed in like a beautiful part of it. I thought it was a very beautiful city. The parts I said, but I also, you're so inside my head that I don't know if I'm just being contrarian. Maybe I actually hated it, but I was so mad that you prejudged one of our great American Western cities. So I don't know what I think. I do know.
Well, what did you think of I-10 going through? Wasn't it dumb?
That was dumb, but I knew that. But then, like, I stayed in this neighborhood called Kern, and it was like these. The views of Juarez are actually really nice. There's this huge valley of like glittering lights
views
before
of the
you.
slums. Yes.
I thought El Paso was cool. I want to go back. All of our El Paso listeners, let's do a live show there. No, but I am now in California, and it's very sunny here. Every day is exactly 65 degrees. I haven't seen a cloud since I got here, and I fucking hate it. I want to go back. It's horrible.
Well, I'm sorry for you. You should not have chosen California. You should have gone somewhere like, I don't know, South Dakota. Butte would have been a better place for you.
I really like it so far. It's very nice here. And I've met some friends of the pod in real life. So a lot has happened lately, and we would like to spend this episode talking about the latest arc in Will Stancil's endlessly fascinating life character arc. Is he a real person? Do we know?
There needs to be a mini series about Will Stancil. It could be true crime at this point.
There should be a racist AI cartoon miniseries about Will Stancil. I also, in part because of an alarming message you sent me, I want to talk a little bit about Moltbook at the end. But first, can I just rant about a real jackass of a journalist for a minute?
Oh, yes. I love it when you get bitchy.
I love getting bitchy. Read this tweet from Marlo Stern. Marlo Stern was a staffer at the Daily Beast. I think he did a stint at Rolling Stone. Now he's an adjunct professor at Columbia University. Actually, before I get to that, Katie, click on this LinkedIn link and read that name to me.
Irina Choi Stern. She, her. Former assistant dean for alumni relations, Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism. This is her LinkedIn page. Why are we stalking Irina Choi Stern?
Because I'm obsessed with her. No, what do you notice about her last name and Marlo Stern's last name?
They're the same last name.
My understanding is that Irina is Marlo's mom.
Wait, Marlo's Asian?
I think he's halvesies.
I thought that he was a white woman for some reason. He tweets like a white woman.
Male Marlo Stern was a white woman.
I did. Marlo's like a very gender neutral name among like millennial parents. I thought he was a very young white woman.
As we know, journalism is a meritocracy, so I very much doubt the fact that his mom was the former, what was it? Assistant dean for alumni relations.
Wait, are we sure this is his mom?
Multiple like other journalists told me that. But no defamation if not, because also we're not defaming him because it's not a negative thing and we think it's true, so it's not defamation. So just read this thing he posted on January 31st.
Okay, so Marlo, a man, he tweeted, seems Jeffrey Epstein and Nellie Bowles, the wife of Barry Weiss, got along well. The partner, and that's in scare quotes, Epstein mentions here is Weiss, and then there are screenshots from the Epstein files. Can we just call them the fucking Epstein emails at this point? They're not files. It's an email dump.
I mean, okay, will that save time to say emails rather than files? Do you have strong feelings about this?
No, but it's more accurate.
Okay, well, that's fine. But that aside, if you read the actual screenshots, it's really hard to make sense of them, but wouldn't you agree that seems Jeffrey Epstein and Nellie Bowles got along well is obviously trying to imply Bowles had some sort of unsavory connection to Epstein? You
know what? Nellie has always struck me as a bit of a hemophile.
Can I just say, if the island had been run by Nellie, who I've probably met a half dozen times, I don't think he would have been caught. I think Nellie would have run a tight ship.
She's a good home manager.
So Nellie explained this in an article in the Free Press, which is an outlet like I've been critical of lately. But she went to Epstein's mansion as part of like a.
We should read the emails.
Well, the problem is the emails don't. They're like hard to parse and they don't really say anything. Yeah, but feel free.
Jeffrey Epstein types like it is the first day of computer class in 1963 in the keys stick. I have never seen a less articulate typist than Jeffrey Epstein. It's very strange. He's like not just like double spaces after the periods, triple spaces, quadruple spaces.
I'll just give one example from these emails. This is like one of his assistants or whatever. Hello, Nellie. Jeffrey will be in NY tomorrow and Wednesday. Might you be around and available to come meet him? Masha believes you will both enjoy each other's company, perhaps Wednesday at 11 a.m. To which Nellie responds, Wednesday at 11 a.m. is perfect. I'll be there then. And she ended up writing stories for the Times about her time in this creepy mansion. She then covered it more in the Free Press. So
there's something in the emails too about him asking about her introducing, these emails are from 2018,
the partner,
introducing her partner Barry to her mom, because Nellie, like a normal person, was making small talk with the source, which is really fucked up.
Well, that's what I find so loathsome about this is like there's Marlowe. I don't really want to call him a journalist. I don't think he deserves that title, but he knows that you constantly are emailing with people who you might feel a certain way about and just being like friendly and open because he was a potential source. Nellie mentioned I think there was a possibility of maybe even profiling him at some point. This is just like whatever problems I have with the Free Press. Part of the reason the Free Press got so big was because a significant subset of journalism was absolutely immoral douchebags like Marlowe Stern, who have no problem just sort of chumming the waters with, oh, sounds like Nellie Bowles was tight with Jeffrey Epstein. It's really loathsome to do what he did. And I mentioned it.
Well,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
And sorry to interrupt you, but it's not just Nellie. Marlowe's not a female. Is also implicating Barry here.
Right. Yeah. And it's just.
So it's like guilt by association by association by association.
I sort of did the bitchy catty thing and I tagged him on X and was just like, this is ridiculous, in part because this gained some traction.
Of course it did.
And he just blocked me and he's just leaving these up. It's loathsome. I mean, it's the kind of thing where like it should be, I don't know, man. I sort of can't believe this, but I can because I've encountered and interacted with these sorts of fuckers.
Yeah. I mean, any journalist who is pretending not to know that sometimes it's part of the job to interact with people who do bad things or criminal acts. And if you are too good or too moral to talk to people who have done bad things, you're probably not very good at journalism. Like that would just be like, what would you be writing? Like just fucking puff pieces about?
If you're reporting on Jeffrey Epstein, what are you going to do? Like, I won't.
Hey, douchebag. Hey, pedo.
Fucking pedophile.
Right. And sometimes is just a part of like normal human interaction, particularly if you're a journalist and you want access to someone, being chummy with them is a good way to get that access. You can see this in Michael Wolff's emails, and I do think he is a bit amoral. He's like well beyond chummy with people like Epstein. It would be a very poor tactic to be an asshole to somebody who you're interested in profiling. And Nellie's piece that she wrote discussing this in the Free Press, I thought it was pretty interesting, and she was a bit reflective about her time going into the Epstein house, and she ends the piece saying, basically, I did fuck up here, but the fuck up wasn't these emails that I sent to Jeffrey Epstein. The fuck up was that I was kind of scared of him, and I didn't do a profile of him when it could have been the biggest story of my career.
Yeah. And just the only other thing I'd say is it's not unique to journalists to sort of send chummy emails to people you don't like. Like everyone, like if some jerk you work with wants to get coffee, be like, oh, that's great, I'll see you then. Like everyone does this anyway.
Yes, this is absolutely fucking normal. So the Epstein emails, can we just talk about this like a little bit more broadly?
Yeah, because it's getting a little bit, I think I know what you're going to say, but say it.
This has been an incredibly messy rollout, like not just the FBI like failing to redact some victims and accusers' names, but also just this like dump of this like WikiLeaks style dump of emails. Nothing actually criminal has come out of this in terms of people being accused or indicted or charged with any sex crimes because of these drops. Like some of it is embarrassing. A lot of it is embarrassing, yes.
Well, not just it does. I think some of it, the strongest case for it is it does reveal these like super rich, powerful people interacting with one another.
Who fucking didn't know that?
I know,
like,
but it's interesting to see this.
People.
It's interesting to see the specific people, but but there's also this sort of moral panic element to it.
Right. Like, okay, so a UK politician is being investigated for, I think, financial crimes based on some revelations from the emails, but I've seen nothing that indicates that anyone else was implicated in Epstein's sex crimes. And so you've seen this insane rumor mongering. Someone accused J.K. Rowling of like being friends with him based on an invitation to a Harry Potter play that she surely knew nothing about.
Yeah.
I think, Trump, he said at one point, like, we shouldn't release these emails because a lot of innocent people are going to be hurt. And I actually think he was right about this.
As always, Trump makes the best points.
And there's been some, the whole thing is like, it's so weird because it was previously like being interested in Epstein was very red coded and now it's becoming more blue coded.
Yeah.
So where we were in North Carolina driving out to this area, like this rural area, there was this spray painted sign, like not billboard size, but this big spray painted sign just on the side of the highway that just said Epstein ? And not like who could have done, like I assumed at first it was some like local, gotta use the slur here, redneck. Maybe it was a Democrat. There's also been some really bad reporting on this. Like my local NPR, one of the local NPR reporters yesterday, Rachel Martin, NPR host, does this podcast with famous people where she asks them questions about like from a deck of cards. Have you heard this?
No.
So she had Melinda French Gates on right after these revelations. And so NPR was really promoting this really heavily, playing like little clips on Morning Edition to drive people to the podcast. So, and Bill Gates was implicated in some of these emails and Rachel Martin was asking about it. So the local NPR host at my station out of Seattle, she introduced this by saying that Melissa French Gates was going to talk about her ex-husband, Bill Gates. She said something like, it appears as though he had an affair with Epstein's victims. What does that tell you, Jesse? Using the term victims.
Well, right. Just it assumes guilt, basically. You mean it
assumes underage.
Right. Sorry.
Right. The actual story is that, and we kept seeing this on Twitter. And so the story that I thought was that Bill Gates had sent Epstein an email saying that he had gotten an STD from a Russian prostitute and was going to secretly dose his wife with an antibiotic. And he was like asking Jeffrey Epstein how to do that, which is psychotic. And I started reading into and I read, I just sort of observed this on Twitter, heard this thing on NPR, and I thought that was a story. And then I actually looked it up in the Financial Times. And the real story is that the emails are not between Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein. It was like actually an email that Jeffrey Epstein sent to himself about Bill Gates.
Gotcha.
So there's no like confession in this. No, obviously Bill Gates, it seems as though he did cheat on his wife.
Right.
But there is no indications that he had sex with minors. And the only evidence that he like tried to dose his wife with an antibiotic to hide this STD is Jeffrey Epstein writing these like diary entry like things to himself. Bill Gates denies it and says basically the guy was a liar. This is a liar lying. But just to hear that on NPR, like
there's a lack of care and specificity with a lot of this.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think there's legitimate news interest in emails between like really powerful people in Jeffrey Epstein, even if they're not criminal. But yeah, this idea of like just
hey, I love the ones with Elon like asking to go to his party. Where the girls
that
at?
Was incredible. Wait, was the girls FTW one real, or there was one that I wasn't sure if it was real?
I don't know.
Because basically like girls for the win.
That's the other thing is like you can't you don't know it's real and it's not anymore.
But also, and in the case of Elon, you can't caricature him.
Right.
Like if there was an all caps email supposedly from Elon that was like me likey boobies,
that's real.
I'd be like, I that sounds like real Elon, but I can't.
He would tweet that.
But yeah, there is this thing, and I do think this was one of the concerns like that more level headed people raised about this idea of just like releasing all the files is like, okay, so there's a subset of people. Literally, the first thing they did was just like search Barry Weiss or search Bulls or whatever. It's just they don't actually care. It's just a weapon they can use to fight their pre-existing battles, basically.
Once again, Donald Trump always right. Shouldn't have done it. Innocent people getting hurt.
It's just crazy that he's been president twice now and he's never done or been wrong about anything. Okay, let's move on to Will Stancil. God, I feel bad even asking you this. It's like an OSHA violation, but just try to briefly remind everyone who this guy is. And his history on the show.
Will Stancil, American hero, Minnesotan hero. He's
Minnesotan.
Yeah, he is. What's the guy? Prairie Home Companion. What was his name?
Garrison Keillor.
Got me too. Garrison Keillor. When Garrison Keillor was talking about how you're in Lake Wobegon, all the children are above average.
All the Will Stancils are above average.
Yeah, this is who he was talking about. Will Stancil is very online. He is a lawyer by trade, although I don't know if he's practiced law ever.
He seems, as we'll get to, he seems to have a fair amount of free time.
He does.
Which is good. He's been using it wisely.
He ran for office in Minnesota. Unfortunately, he lost. He is the subject of many episodes of this podcast, as well as the hit viral AI-generated cartoon. I believe it is called It Do Be Like That, Mr. Stancil?
It was made by an actual white nationalist, but because we're an open-minded podcast, we talked
We loved
about it.
it.
Parts of it, sorry, no, we did not love it. Parts of it were actually a little bit funny. Also, for the record, ballotpedia.com, I'm sure we've mentioned this before, Will Stancil only lost in the Democratic primary for the Minnesota House of Representatives by like 600 votes.
Damn.
So, and if he'd won the primary, surely they are not electing a lot of Republicans.
I fucking wish he had won. He's like everyone's lolcow.
By the way, sorry, just one other thing. You'll appreciate this because it's Minnesota. Second place in this election from Minnesota House of Representatives District 61A. The winner, the Democrat, got 84% of the vote. Second place was not a Republican. No Republicans bothered. It was a Green Party candidate who got 15%. I forgot we even had a Green Party.
That sounds like Seattle. So Will he's someone who I have strongly disliked in the past. I think he's made some tactical errors. Like for one, like at one point he doxed this truly odious man on Twitter
Captain
who
Dreamer.
goes by the handle Captain Dreamer. Will doxed the wrong guy, and I believed his dox. So that's my big beef with Will. We did correct that. Will never did.
So you called that number and just started harassing them, and it was just some guy.
I did call the number. He did not answer. I texted him and he had his red receipts on, so I know he saw it. Did not respond to me.
Everyone just needs to turn off red. I like
turn off your red receipts.
Read receipts, or is it red receipts?
I call them red. I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say, what's the
either.
upside? Obviously, if it's like your wife or whatever, you probably should have it on. But I don't understand how that became the norm. Anyway, what gives today's story its tension is the fact that Stancil's always been a supremely online figure. He's someone who cannot stop tweeting. He cannot stop skeeting. Whatever comes out next year, bleeding, he will not be able to stop bleeding. But lately, as the situation in Minneapolis with ICE has heated up, he is engaged in a lot of pretty direct anti-ICE activism. So just read the...
All right, that's all you get. To get the rest of this and help support the show, join us, blockedandreported.org. Thanks.